Hi, this week's design for the weekend. I'm in Kendal in Cumbria. Not entirely sure why, but I got fed up in Portsmouth and I did a bit of a tour on Rightmove and ended up in the home of Postman Pat. I was attracted by this house, I think mainly because of that picture, evening, nice warm orange lighting, not horrible white LEDs. And I thought, have a look at that house. So, first thing I look at, it's not really the photos, but the floor plan. And we've got 4 floors. It's somewhere near how many square meters? So 192 square meters, and it's 700,000 divided by 192. So about 3,600 square meter. It's pretty good value actually for compared to what we've been looking at in Portsmouth. Some of the houses are more like a bit more than that, probably 4,000 for houses that probably aren't quite as attractive or as well finished. So floor plan here, that's sorry dropping around, but when you come into the front door, you see up here in the corner, uh, the street level, there's a window there which is to that dining room, which is in the sort of basement level. Nice lounge, don't really need to do anything other than change the sort of decor of it. I think this feels a bit tight. I'm not sure that one needs a separate door. We've then got this sort of study with a door to the garden and a shower room tucked off the study, which feels a bit odd. That is the way out to the garden. Then on the top floor, or sorry, on the first floor, we've got bedroom at the front, one bathroom, so no ensuite in a house of this size. Seems sort of like something people probably would want, I would think. A small bedroom in here, which has got a funny angled wall, which is quite narrow. I don't know where that 2.31 is. If it's at this end, then this is going to be like 5 foot or something at this end, 1.5. So you've only place for a bed is really down here. This bedroom is pretty small, really, 4.28 times 2.88. So okay, it's a decent double, I guess, not massive. Probably unfair to call it small. Upstairs, very tight up in the roof space, so we can see a picture of that just here. So that's that space up in the road. So that looks like a single bed to me, and you're going to get out and, well, I'm going to whack my head every time. But I guess as an attic room, perhaps we can live with that. So that's the front of the house. Let's get rid of those here. Front of the house, that's the living room. Doesn't need a lot doing to it. Nice staircase. Door down to the basement, door to living room. That's the door coming in from the porch. So the kitchen looks quite attractive. Like they've done a new one recently. It's got a smoke detector, so the whole house has been probably wired recently. But it doesn't look very practical to me. You've got a range here and an Aga here and some nice looking bread and cookies. So that doesn't feel like that's a real. I mean, although it looks kind of nice, I'm not sure what one could really do. The sink's tucked over here, so in terms of cooking, not that functional, I don't think. That's the front dining room. Quite a nice wood burner in there, although I think it's gas. That looks like a gas pipe to me, but who knows. Stove fire there, doesn't look like it's used. That's the back study space. That's I don't know where that is, but that looks like a nice cake. Shower room off of the study. That's the nice cake. Wonder if that's real. And tea. All very good. Dining room at the front. That's the window to the front that you could see just below the bay at the front. TV on that wall there. Doesn't look a very useful room to me. Functional utility room. Kind of a nice stair if that's the kind of thing you like. We've been through that room. That's obviously the front bedroom. That's the second bedroom. That's the sort of narrow room, which actually in the picture doesn't look too bad, does it? But I think wide angle lenses can make things look a bit bigger than they are. Second bedroom there. Family bathroom. Front of the house. Back garden. So this space here, this is sort of, although it's a north facing house, so this house, the back of the house is north, so you're not going to get any sunlight into the backs of these houses. In the evening, you're going to get the sun coming round into this space here. Morning sun's coming over from here. So if we go back to the sort of outside, so you're going to get evening sun coming into this space. So actually, that's going to be quite a nice sunny space in the evenings. That deck up there. Don't know what that is down there, but probably in the summer. This all looks very nice and green. You've got steps down here to the kitchen, and then that way goes up to that study door, and there's the front door. So I'm going to have a look at that, see what we can do to try and come up with a better layout that actually has less rooms, I think. Less rooms, but more useful rooms, and a more open layout rather than a series of separate spaces. I don't know if I lived there what I would do with that room there. I might use it as a study, I suppose, as an office, but with a toilet off of it and access to the garden, I kind of feel like there's just a better way to create the living space. I think the bedrooms, well, other than maybe trying to get an ensuite up there, sort of work okay, I suppose, but it's these two floors that I'll try and fix, I think. Right, so I've added on just some basic lines just to show how the plot works. So the boundary is running through here, runs up, as we saw in the photos, up to the garden here, and we're getting evening sun into this wall. So sun comes round, morning round here, and then into here. So the back of the house is going to be not getting any direct sunlight most of the time. So the garden, there's this sunken area, and then that door goes out onto the raised garden, and just there's not the I think the sort of easy option just to do something that would make it better would be to just open up this space here. And I've been doing this in a house in Southsea recently, actually, just looking at opening up some of these sort of different rooms. I think you keep that utility room. There's a window here, and just knock out that back wall. Keep that exactly as it is. These nice thick stone walls are thicker than my pen, which takes more drawing time. So the stair, maybe a new stair, more of an open modern stair going up that way. You could keep that cupboard. That would then mean you could keep that fireplace, I suppose, there. You could have a kitchen in here and probably have a nice big island in that room with some seating around it, which become a good social sort of space. Then you could have a dining room table somewhere in here, and then that gives a living kind of space. Sort of top chair there, TV on that wall. Get rid of that range thing and just have your range and your sink, something along those lines. Keep the utility room, doors out into the garden, and that's already a better layout. And maybe there'd be a way to fit a toilet or something in here, so you can have another door into a utility room there and have a toilet tucked under the stair. There must be drainage down there because there's a kitchen and a utility room. Then you've got quite a nice self-contained ground floor, but it doesn't fix what's going on up here, and makes me think that either if you were desperate for extra bedrooms, then perhaps you'd make that a bedroom and have a lounge, and then that space on the ground floor. That would be one option. That would be a sort of safe thing to do. And then the attic room, which is pretty kind of useless as a proper bedroom, I think, because of the headroom, or so it appears. You could do some sort of dormer, I suppose. On the back there is a small dormer shown in the photos, so maybe make that room a bit bigger as a dormer. Then you'd have 3 bedrooms, which would mean this study space would be up for grabs. And I think actually creating more volume and bringing more light in might be an interesting way. And there's some projects I've worked on that I'll run through now that will kind of help explain the sort of ideas I'll run through. Looking at this house in Kendal, a few things that come to mind in terms of getting rid of floor space almost and creating volume. So this house that it was actually a friend of mine who's an architect. It's his house, and actually it was his idea to take out that bit of the floor. So it's a sort of 2 up, 2 down terraced house, but took out that bit of room there. That whole floor created that really nice double height space, brought a lot of light into this room, but an extension on the back. Lost a bedroom, you could say, but went up in the loft to create a bedroom. So that's the front bedroom up in the loft here to create a good sized bedroom. It's all there's this screen here, glazed screen, which was fire rated, looking down into that volume because you couldn't have an open space all the way through. So that's the front of the house. So actually taking away floor space sounds sort of counterintuitive sometimes, but even in a small house like that, it adds an awful lot. And then this was another house where I took out the whole of this floor. So this is a sort of basement type space that looked down to the garden, and basically chopped out that floor, and put the kitchen underneath. And then there should have been steps going up to the garden, but budget constraints meant it was a stair with a wall. But the idea was some sort of open stairs up to it. So that's the space. This thing would stop flicking around. That's the space looking down. So there was a living room up at the top here, stairs down into this space here with a stove in the corner. It's pretty bloody nice, actually. That's that space of there. And then just as an example, so thinking about also wide steps and how that can, this is in the sort of reverse, but this is coming down a level, but actually using wide steps with pots on to go up or down from a basement up to a garden, or from a living space down to a garden, works really well, I think. And then there's one other I had in mind, which is completely annoying websites with pop-ups. This one was a basement conversion and was a dark old space. Made the best of it, really. Couldn't open up to the front here because there was a sort of porch over the top, but these steps were put in and opened up this French door, so the door's open and that opens out to the garden. I created a little niche there in a space that wasn't even floor area at the time, sort of dug out some of the basement, some of the upper levels. Yeah, these steps down to the garden. So sort of thinking about employing those ideas in this project, and then just had a further look at the house, and it sits on the end of a terrace on maybe what was a railway, but once running through here, so a park running through. I think there's a chance actually there is a window down here, and I think putting a window in this end wall, which is I think west facing. So yeah, that's south, east, north. So yeah, west facing. So you potentially get some evening sun in there. Right. So with those houses in mind, I think the sort of big project that I would explore here would be to take out the whole of this floor here, and to get access from the garden, to provide access from the garden with extra wide steps, and to do a little bit of sort of civil engineering and dig out this area here on the ground floor. So dig out that corner and go for those sort of series of fairly wide steps. Now I don't know how many we'd need, but it's difficult to tell without knowing the levels. But then if they're wide like that, you can have sort of pots on them. They become part of the landscape and the garden. And when you look up from this space, we're going to see up through those steps in a sort of bigger version of the house that I showed last in the little sort of video of past projects. That would then mean that I would take out the whole of this floor here. So I'd put in a glass screen here, because you need that for fire regs. So I'd open all of that up, and that could become a sort of gallery space. You could kind of redo the stairs with a sort of bookshelf or something in here. The stairs up against it. So you'd end up with a bookshelf here that you could see, where you could access from this gallery, but also it'll be visible from when you're looking up from this space below. So that means that actually that wall would be here. So this space, let's draw that like that. Knock out the whole of that back wall. Keep that window, because I think that's a valuable thing to have. Probably keep that covered. You could take out the stair, because we're going to do the stair in a different space, and right here. Then we get a glass wall across here. We could have a really big, in fact you could do almost the whole kitchen on an island in here, with just some full height cupboards here for your fridge, an oven, have your sort of stove and sink like this, and then have some seating around this big island through here. I'd then make this all living, kitchen, dining, so we'll have a window here, and this would just give a fantastic opportunity for a big sofa here. You could have a smaller sofa here, dining table in here, a bit like the previous version. And then this whole space here is open to above, so it's 2 stories high, so it's a bit like the pictures that I showed you. And to get light into that, because actually you're not going to get any evening light or afternoon light, but actually if you knock a hole in this wall, so the one thing I've forgotten to draw is the staircase, but I'll come back to that. I would knock a hole in this wall here, keep those windows as they are, turn that into a window, block that one up. And then you get a big, just one big sheet of glass in there, which would be above here and bring light in. And as the stair comes down, the stair's gonna come down here. I'm just gonna have to redo my furniture down here, so the stair would come over the dining table would still work. I thought I was being a bit optimistic with how many sofas we were going to fit in there. We're going to get rid of that stair there, that chair rather, and so the stair's going to come down here. You'd move the table over a little bit. Let's get rid of this. Like so. I think I'd put the table something like that. The stair could go down that wall, or it could go sideways, but I think that's the best place. Climb up there, big window alongside you, and it starts, just waiting for my Tipp-Ex to dry, starts there. By the time it's got to about here, you can walk under that space anyway, so it's just impactful down in that bottom corner. So when you come in the front door, keep that room as it is. We'd need I think we'd want to keep a sliding fire door there that you can close off at night, but otherwise it would feel open, because we're going to have to protect this room from the upper floors if we're going to do it to get through building regulations, which of course one has to. So that's the void looking down. So the sofa, the L-shaped sofa's here, the dining table's under here, the stairs coming down. Probably have room for another chair. On here, maybe the TV. Where do you put the TV? Or maybe on that wall or this wall, or maybe the TV's back in here. Remembering that there is also a nice lounge here. And we've got a nice entrance space here, and I think you could put a toilet under the stairs there. You could probably put a toilet in this corner. Or we could put a toilet here. So you could have a downstairs toilet under that staircase with a door past the bookshelf. So when you're stood here, you're looking up against this bookshelf. Got the living room in here. So we've got that kind of thing going on. And then on the upper level, this bedroom is... The bedrooms are just about big enough, I think, and I think if you start trying to cram an ensuite into them, you might struggle. But well, I mean, one option is you try and make the loft a bit bigger with a dormer, which I think would be possible on the back. So you could put a dormer on the window. While we're going to town on this house, let's sort of do it properly. And so we keep that family bathroom where it is, I think, and put another bathroom in here as an ensuite to that bedroom. Then you have the bed here looking out over over the garden. And then that becomes a sort of dressing area over here, sort of dressing table here, light from coming from behind. And then that can have a shower, basin, toilet over there. That door sort of opens like that. Keep the family bathroom because that serves the other two bedrooms. So I've only got a 3-bed house, but I don't care. I think it's a better layout. And I guess if you were looking to buy a house for four beds, then you obviously wouldn't do this. But if we're buying it just to make a really nice, light, open space that you can make more usable rooms, I think that would be my sort of solution to it. Let's get rid of that all there. So we've got one bedroom, nice big bedroom across the back of the house here, here. Another big bedroom here. Keep that stair as it is. Enlarge the loft room with a dormer on the back, so we then get 3 really good sized bedrooms, a nice lounge, and this fantastic kind of living open space that opens out into the garden directly from that level, rather than kind of walking across here. I guess there could be a way that you could create a kind of route across or something, like a bridge across to get out of the garden, but can't see why you'd want to do that. And if one wanted to keep a bedroom on this floor, we could do it a bit like one of the houses I showed you, where actually you only make half of it open. So we just make that space open, this space with the stair, and then this becomes a study / sort of bedroom 4. So you could still create some of the drama of that. It would just mean that over the top of the sofa there would be solid, and that would be the void space in there. So that would be a solid. So there's a way to kind of cut it back, I suppose, to not lose quite so much space. Okay, thanks so much.